Hey, welcome back to another episode of Soulful Sundays with Madge. If you are new to this channel, my name is Madge and I want to thank you all for supporting the channel. Thank you for coming on this journey with me as we discuss challenges that come up in our lives and how our perspective can be a great tool in helping us to overcome so many obstacles that we face day to day. And as always, if you like what you receive, feel free to hit that like button. Ring the bell. This way, when I upload, you will receive notification. You can leave a comment below, and always know you can email me at askmadge18@gmail.com with any questions you may have. So we're going to go ahead and get into this week's topic, which is the power of love. If I look down, I'm looking at my notes. So I want to talk about the power of love this week, because I was really tested this week on loving people when people hurt you, loving when you feel persecuted, loving when you feel lied on, loving when you feel like people are truly out to hurt you. And I'm sure that you have been through that in life, where people have said unkind things about you or done things that just were not cool. And sometimes we are left feeling like we want to treat people the way they have treated us. And how can we love people who are out to hurt us, that really just have nothing good, like anything good towards us, or like good wishes towards us. And yet and still, I want to still talk about the power of love. And so I was in the book of life, and I was brought to Matthew chapter 5, verse 44 through 48. And I just want to touch on some highlights of these verses. But more importantly, verse 44 leads out with, "But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. My apologies. Then it goes on to say, if you love those who love you, what reward will you get? And then it also touches on, if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than others?" And so what I really want to touch on is that I find that it is so easy for us to love when it's the perfect condition, when people are treating us kind, when people are very similar to us, when we are sharing common interests, common goals. But what I've come to realize is that it is far more greater and more beneficial in our lives to love when it is not convenient, to love when it is hard, to love even when you know that the person on the other side actions may not be loving towards you. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Years ago, I had a situation where I always had a very hard time with a particular person. And it seemed like I was always getting hurt. I was always on the receiving end of getting hurt. Now, I want to say that that is my perspective of the situation and the story. It doesn't make it the truth. It's just how I seen it, how I felt, my experience in it. So I always felt very hurt. And I can remember one time I got hurt so bad, I decided that, you know what? I was done. I was done with the relationship. I was done being hurt. However, I was very angry. I was very bitter for probably like 1 or 2 years. I mean, I was angry. If there was anyone I could share with how hurt I wanted to tell the story. I was in it. And it makes me think about the quote or the saying when it's like anger or hate is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So while I was in all this anger and all this hurt for 1 or 2 years, what do y'all think the other person was doing? The other person was more than likely, and I hope that the person was living their life, doing what they needed to do in their life to progress, to move forward, to take care of whatever they needed to do. But what was I doing? I was stuck. I was stuck in a feeling of hate. I was stuck in a feeling of bitterness, and I was not progressing. Everything that I was feeling, everything that I was speaking was like a boomerang. And I was just sending that out to the universe. And it was just coming right back to me. And then one day I decided that I was done feeling like that. I was done holding myself captive to hate. I was done speaking about the situation, and that it was time to move on. And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to decide that we're done holding ourselves captive. We're done allowing those feelings of bitterness and hurt and what a person done to us 2-3 years ago to be in our future, to be in our present moment. We have to let it go. And it's when we decide to love, that's what's going to open up the door to free us. It actually frees us. You know, this week wasn't easy because God actually led me to this particular book in the Bible. He led me to Matthew and those verses this week because I was in a situation where I actually have to love someone that is persecuting me. And, you know, it was really tough. So basically, the person is telling stories. And on top of telling stories, part of the stories that they're telling hurts someone that is connected to me. And they can't help themselves. They aren't able to speak up for themselves. And it was not true about the person. And I felt like, you know, this particular person was saying things about someone connected to me to spite me, but shining a light on an innocent party, shining a negative light on an innocent party just to get back at me. And I was so hurt. And I can remember, like, I literally was like, okay, so this is how you want to play. Okay, I got stuff I can throw out too. I'm gonna throw some stuff out. But because I revere the Lord, I said, okay, Madge, what's leading that emotion? I don't know if I can trust what's leading that emotion. So I can remember I literally dropped to my knees and I about cried. I broke down and I was crying, and I just said, God, what do you want me to do? Like, how am I supposed to combat this? Like, what's coming against me in these lies? Like, how do I fight this, God? And God told me to love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you. And you're going to fight this battle with love. And so that's exactly what I did. I started praying, and I'm going to allow myself to stay high. I'm going to stay on my throne, and that's what I want to encourage y'all to do. Like Michelle Obama said, when people go low, let's go high. Because the thing about it is, it's a distraction. It's usually always a distraction, and it's going to take us away from what it is that we need to be focusing on. And the moment that God told me to love, and I said a prayer, and I decided that I was not going to fight evil with evil or lies with lies. I was going to continue to walk in the truth. And that's what I want us to do. When people lie on us, when people persecute us, when people are out to harm us, I want us to take on the motto, take on the mindset that we are going to love through it. We're going to love our enemies through it. We're not going to speak evil against them. We're not going to spread lies or truths about them. We're going to just allow them to do whatever they do. We're going to allow them to say whatever they say. And we're going to continue to walk in our truth. We're going to continue to walk in our purpose. And we're going to continue moving forward, because here's something that I think that we can all take away from it. For us to get to that point to go and fight against evil and lies or whatever a person's doing, we're literally going to have to get up and go down. We're going to have to go down to get on that level. Why do we want to do that? Let's not do that. Let's stay high. Because the thing about it is, let them. The people that are spreading the lies or saying these things, that's where they're going to stay. They're going to stay focused on looking for ways to make us look bad. And all the while, you know what we're going to be doing? We're going to be so focused on progressing. We're going to be so focused on building. We're going to be so focused on love. That is exactly what we're going to send out to the universe. We're going to be boomerangs of love, boomerangs of hope, boomerangs of prosperity, boomerangs of abundance, boomerangs of being kings and queens over our lives and governing our territory. That we're not going to have time for that, because everything that we put out comes right back. And so when God told me to love, I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to love through it, because regardless, I know that I don't want negativity. In my experience, I know negativity can try to come up against me. Negativity can try to come up against you, but we don't have to accept it in our experience. We don't have to attach ourselves to that. We can accept that it is what it is, and we can just say, this is where you're going to be. You're not coming into my area. We're going to keep our areas full of love and full of peace and full of joy and focused on all the great possibilities that are going to be in the present moment and the next moment and the next moment. So that is really what I just wanted to convey this week to y'all, is let's love our enemies. It's so easy to love when we're in the perfect conditions with people that look and seem and are acting similar to our beliefs and how we would act and how we would, behave. But it's more important for us to lean into love when it's actually the most hardest time to do it. So I thank you so much for tuning in another week with me. I want you to take care. I want you to be blessed. Bye.